Ladies and gentlemen, we are Farah Dita and Mutiara Sanni from Academic Listening Class Fair. Today's video, we're going to give you some tips and tricks about listening section in TOEFL IBT test. Before we start our discussion, let us hear my friend explain briefly about what TOEFL IBT listening section is.
The TOEFL IBT listening section is designed to measure your ability to understand conversation and lectures in English. It includes listening for basic comprehension and pragmatic understanding or speaker's attitude and degree of certainty, and connecting and also synthesizing information. There are two types of listening items in this section. The first one, lectures, and number two, conversation. Both use campus-based language. 3 to 4 lectures, each for 3 until 5 minutes long, with 6 questions per lecture. 2 to 3 conversations with 2 speakers, each 3 minutes long, with 5 questions per conversation. The listening section includes native speaker English accent from North America, the United Kingdom, New Zealand, or Australia to better reflect the variety of accent you might encounter while studying abroad. Now, what inside the TOEFL IBT listening section looks like? Inside the TOEFL IBT listening section, you will find out this type of question. Number 1, gist content. Number 2, details information question. Number 3, function question. Number 4, attitude question. Number 5, organization question. Number 6, connecting content question. Number 7, inference question. So, let's discuss it one by one. First, gist content and gist purpose question. The gist of something is the main point or key idea. In the TOEFL IBT test, gist content question asks you to identify the main topic or idea of the listening conversation or lecture. On the other hand, gist purpose question asks you to identify what the main purpose of the conversation or lecture is. You can recognize gist content and gist purpose questions because they are used phrases like mainly about, mainly discussing, why the student, or what is the main purpose. Don't worry, in the listening section there will always be either a gist content question or gist purpose question, but never both. This type of question will always be the first question after listening to the passage. Also, sometimes the lectures and conversation can have two main ideas. In this case, the gist content or gist purpose question may ask you to choose 2 of the 4 answer questions instead of just one. Second, detailed information questions. Detailed questions are probably the most straightforward of all the listening question type. They will ask you to remember specific facts about the lecture or conversation. You can recognize detailed questions because they include phrases like according to and what is in the question. Detailed question will always ask about an important conceptual detail. You will not be expected to memorize trivial details such as whether something happened in 1977 or 1978. The answer to a detailed question will always be explicitly stated in the listening conversation or lecture.
Third, function question. Function question asks you to identify the particular meaning of a statement in a given context. Because a statement can have different meanings depending on the situation. In other words, the real meaning is different from the surface or literal meaning. For example, if you are in a room with other people and someone says, "It's getting silly in here," what they might really be saying is, "Could someone close the window?" You can recognize function questions because they include phrases like, "What does the professor mean when he says?" "Why does the student say?" "What does the student imply when she says this?" "What is the purpose of the professor's response?" When listening to the passage, ask yourself what the speaker is really doing by saying certain things. The speaker may be doing things like directing, recommending, complaining, agreeing or disagreeing, questioning, or confirming. When you know this type of intention and that they often happen beneath the surface of what is said, they can help you identify the function of what is said more easily. Attitude question. Attitude question asks you to show understanding of the speaker's attitude or their feelings about something. You can recognize attitude question because they include phrases like, "What is the professor's attitude?" "What does the student think about?" "What can be inferred?" "What is the student's impression of?" "How does the professor feel about?" "What does the professor mean when she says?" And listen again. Pay attention to the sound of the speaker's voice for hints about their attitude and opinion about the topic. For example, if a conversation has someone accepting and apology, their tone would be gentle and understanding. Organization question. You can recognize organization question because they often include phrases such as, "Why does the professor mention?" or "Why does the professor discuss?" Listen for the signal words that indicate the introduce, major ideas, example, and the conclusion or summary. This may be sequence words like first, next, and then. Or they may indicate time or a chronology, like before, during, or since. Or they could show cause and effect, like accordingly or as a result. These signal words are good clue for when to take note. 6. Connecting content question. The purpose of this test is to show your understanding of the relationship among ideas in a lecture. Connecting content question may require you to fill in a chart or table. Or they may ask things like, "What is the likely outcome?" This type of question will ask you to put together information from different sentences or different parts of the conversation or lecture. You may be asked to identify things like step in a process or cause or effect relationship, or you may be asked to classify items in categories or make a prediction. 7. Inference questions. In this type of question, ask the listener to show an understanding of the meaning of something when it is not directly stated in the conversation. Recognize the inference question by some question like this. What are the implications of? What does the professor imply? What can be inferred? After the explanation of question types in TOEFL IBT listening section, it's time for the exercise. You can also try to solve it at home. Don't hesitate to pause the video if you need more time to do the exercise. Good luck!
You mentioned at the start of last class that you are a fan of live music. I guess I don't have to tell you about the concert at the campus pub on Saturday. It's supposed to be the best show of the year.
I know. I wish I could be there, but I already promised Professor Mathers that I'd have all of the quizzes graded by Monday. I'm afraid I'm going to be stuck in my dorm all weekend because I look after 3 tutorial classes, including yours.
Why did you offer to do that? Did you forget about the concert, or do you really need the money?
Actually, I really need to concentrate on academics this year. If I want to get into the education program, I have to prove that I am serious about being a tutorial leader. It's not about the money. We don't get paid much considering all of the hours we put in.
Have you applied at other schools besides this one? I've heard it's really hard to get into the education program here, but my cousin got accepted at one in a different state, and her grades aren't that good.
That was my original plan, but Professor Mathers asked me to help her out this year, and she also promised to write me a reference letter. I didn't think I could get into the program here, but now I do. My marks are higher than they have ever been, and once I'm done my master's, I hope to do my PhD.
Well, I can see that you're really dedicated. You're going to make an excellent teacher.
Professor, you mean?
Right. Well, I'm sorry you're going to miss the band.
Me too. I can't help feeling a bit jealous. Sometimes I wish I was still in my first year of studies.
Well, I'll tell you all about it on Monday. Oh, and thanks for the homework tips.
Sure, anytime.
Brought to you by EnglishClub.com.
Well, I can see that you're really dedicated. You're going to make an excellent teacher.
Professor, you mean?